I'm a feminist. Feminism is about choice.
No, you really are.
Excuse me, ma'am, people. But see, the thing is, you're okay giving this to people.
Okay.
I'm just challenging what you think.
In this video, we are going to watch Kevin Samuels rest in power to the great man go one-on-one with a modern feminist. And there are some very, very important topics touched, which we will go into detail about. So with that, let's get into the clips.
One of the things I kept hearing, my name is Kevin Samuels, by the way, nice to meet you. One of the things I kept hearing is the notion of fairness. Why is that so important to you, Amanda?
I hate to admit it, but I do. Like, I'm half a man. I'm just a pretty girl. And I don't think that I should have to accept less in life because I was born with different equipment. I think that's bullshit.
Well, if you're half a man, then you should understand this full concept that men don't care about fair.
I don't have to care about fair either.
No. Men don't care about fair, or else we wouldn't conquer other people. You're of European descent. Looks like you're from your people are from the Caucasus Mountains, European descent. So
I am very white, yes.
That's fine. And some of them, and there's a lot, and between a lot of warring tribes, Germania, the Franks, if we cared about fairness, we would just let everybody stay on their land. Vikings wouldn't have raided and pillaged. England would have stayed on its island. Scotland would have been all right. Ireland would have been all right. Matter of fact, Hong Kong wouldn't have been a British protectorate for how many years? Oh, until the last, 30 or 40? Men don't care about fair. We conquer. It's winners and losers.
Straight up.
Right? You're half a man.
I didn't know that only men were part of conquering.
Well, name me some great female warriors that have dominated the planet.
Well, I mean, I'm learning new education here, which is only men conquer.
No.
I mean, that's what you're telling me, right?
No. Well, see, what I'm not going to do, I'm not going to switch that. I'm asking about fairness. And I said about fairness. Why is fairness so important? You said because you're half a man.
Because if you expect something of me, I should be allowed to expect the same of you. And if you can't offer me that, you don't deserve to be in my life.
But that has nothing to do with fairness.
It has everything to do with fairness.
No, fairness means you get an opportunity. Fairness doesn't mean you get an outcome.
Oh my God.
You get an interview, not guaranteed a job.
No, you're not. But I work very, very hard to ensure that I keep it.
Well, if that's the case, you should. If that's the case,
right?
If that's the case, then if that's the case, you should be able to secure the things you want. So you should have no problem.
Obviously not. Not when men are out here believing like you don't have to be fair.
Well, those two things can't exist in the same place.
Women haven't even been part of human history. It's just men, and all we care about is conquering.
Well, no. You just said you work very hard, so you should get the outcomes. See, if hard work was all that required, then we would almost be guaranteed. Hard work gets you a ticket to the dance. It doesn't guarantee you the top spot. How many? Who lost the Super Bowl, guys?
The Kansas City Chiefs.
Can you say they worked hard this year?
Very hard.
Number 2. Men don't worry about fairness. We worry about winning. And to the victor goes the spoils. Just like, you know what? How many times you've gotten to a club into VIP for free when some ugly chicks had to pay full price?
Is that my fault?
Oh.
No. I've asked how many times it happened before you go down that path.
I mean, plenty of times in Miami.
Exactly, but that's not fair, is it?
Well, please don't forget I'm not from here.
But that's not the point, ma'am. That's not fair, is it?
I also don't care about those things.
But so you only care about fairness when it doesn't benefit you.
I just don't go to clubs that often.
But that's not the point. I asked you, how many times you've gone to a club where you got in free, where ugly chicks or less attractive chicks had to pay? And you know that's happened. You didn't say, excuse me, sir. Even though I'm attractive, I demand that you charge me full price. That's fair, right?
Okay, so because I
fair?
Into places and get
Is that fair?
That means that I should get
fair. Before we go that, I'll answer your question if you at least answer mine. Is that fair?
Life isn't fair.
Well, if that's the case, you accept it in the sexual marketplace too.
It doesn't mean I have to accept other people's bullshit.
No. Well, see, the thing is, ma'am, see what you've proven, like many feminists and many women, you're okay with the double standards that benefit you. But the ones you don't like, you just throw at the wind, use sign language, shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right to deflect and dismiss guys who are normally intimidated by this thing. I'm not. I'm just challenging your positions. You're okay with it not being fair when it benefits you.
Now, this is a great point by Kevin. Men don't care about fair because in the competitive landscape of being a man, Fair is not something that you can care about. And the ones who do sit around crying and saying that they got a bad lot in life and they're a victim because of this reason or that reason, and the reason why they can't get a date is because women are so horrible or maybe they were born short, these men are destined to lose. If you want to be a successful man, then being a victim is not even an option, because there is always some savage waiting in the wings who doesn't complain, who is clipping at your heels and waiting for you to slip up so that he can take over. And this is just the nature of reality of life as a man, and it's clearly something that she does not have a grasp on. Just because you've acquired some masculine traits due to your feminist conditioning doesn't make you half a man. In fact, you would not last 5 minutes in a man's world with your victim mentality. And stick around, guys, because Kevin Samuels is about to drop some absolute fire that I'm going to go in on as well. But if you like this sort of content and you want to show some support to the page, then chuck a thumbs up on the video, leave me a comment, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and turn on all notification bells so that... God, I'm cringe.
You're oversimplifying a very complex situation.
No, it's not really complex. There are no such thing as loyal. The concept of a loyal, highly effective, competitive alpha is a female notion.
And have to continue to compete with other pretty girls because men are too simple to stick with one.
Well, how about this? The kind of men you're talking about are simple enough to make the light you live in, the air conditioning, all the stuff that you... Hold on, excuse me, ma'am. The simple men built the world that you use.
I built my own world. So
no,
again,
ma'am, you use the world we built. No, ma'am, you use the world men built. Name me 5 great female inventors. I'll give you one. Madam Curie.
I can't believe you. So you're telling me that men and...
No, ma'am, I just asked you a question and you just... No, you go... See, you're answering questions with questions. You're talking about building. Name me 5 great female inventors or builders. Madam Curie.
5 inventors or builders. That's a really great question. That really is. Yeah, I was gonna. Well, also I don't remember the lady's name, but there's a bunch of buildings in Miami.
Take it. Go on and do it. Go on and do it. Go. Take it. She's afraid. Go on and do it. Go on and get on in there, baby girl. You got it.
Miami was established by a woman.
Congratulations. But the Miami, the land was established by, but this country was first landed by who? Men or women?
Men.
Exactly.
I agree with you.
And see, the thing is, I've done this show about survival, and you can go back to Bear Grylls Island #2. Man, you can only be a feminist in a first world country.
There's a hierarchy of needs. You are correct. We
don't need you.
College.
And we don't need you. You need us.
Great. I don't need you either.
No, we need you. We don't need you for survival. You need us for survival.
Okay, so
what I'm trying to get you to understand, ma'am, is you have a right to your opinions.
Obviously, I don't have a right to anything.
Well, no, you have a right to believe what you want, but the thing is, you're not allowed to the outcome. You're allowed to have an opinion, just like men are allowed to have an opinion. And you don't have to compete or deal in a situation that you deem is unfair, but you can't complain about the rules that are already set. You like the rules that benefit you, getting into the club for free, but you don't like the rules that benefit men. High value men have the leverage.
Because I'm 31 years old and I'm getting a little fed up of these men kind of attacking me. I do not go to clubs anymore. So please stop with your double standard bullshit. I work in a man's world, and if anything, I've had to work 5 times as hard in this world as a man to get where I am. So
look at hold on now. Since you want to tell me you've had to, you're 31 years old and had to work in a man's world. That's a privilege. If you don't, here's the thing, ma'am. You say the problems with men. The only one that's complaining about the double standard harshly is you.
Yes,
but it benefits you too.
All the benefits.
Okay, well, here's the thing, ma'am. If you don't like, okay, ma'am, you're a competent woman, correct?
Okay, so I should quit my job and never.
No, you should build Amazonia, and make it the female utopia that benefits women.
I probably should after listening.
Well, then go ahead.
Agree with you.
And then you'd have to actually build something. You'd have to put your mouth where you'd have to put your brawn where your mouth is.
I don't understand what you're saying again.
I'm saying that you came at me with the same line. I've had to put up at 31 years old and deal with men's bullshit. You're living in a first world country. You're in Miami, one of the most posh places on the planet, complaining about double standards that you participate in. The nerve.
corrected you that I don't go to clubs. So you're
Okay, ma'am, I just gave an example. You've
Right.
been to clubs. I didn't say you continue to go. That's not the point now, is it? But see, that's another way of you trying to get me online and then correcting me because I'm a dumb man. I get the point.
No, you're very rude and very aggressive.
No, I'm very direct. And when you were doing this to the men, you had no problem showing your dick. I'm just acknowledging your balls because you're a tough woman.
Why should I
Why?
be?
Because I'm just giving what you give. I'm
Guys,
reflecting back what you give to people. But see, the thing is, you're okay giving this to people.
Okay.
I'm just challenging what you think.
Sometimes I wish that I could take these people with this insufferable victim mentality and just plonk them into the 13th century for a while, just so that they could get a bird's eye view of what it was like to exist back then and how astoundingly easy your life is and how unbelievably fortunate you are to live in a developed nation in the 21st century. You don't have to worry about being woken in the dead of the night by the ominous sound of Mongolian horse hooves coming across the mountain on a pillaging mission to come and kill your spouse in some gruesome way, like boiling him in a pot of boiling water or some nasty shit like that, and kill your infants to ensure that one day they don't grow up and seek revenge and then eventually have their way with you and take you as a slave. Instead, you wake up in the comfort of your home in silk sheets made by some poor bastard in a Chinese sweat factory. You part your velvet curtains and open your window and all you hear is chirp, 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 chirp. Then you're free to do whatever the hell you want. You can go and turn your central heating on. Some man installed for you. Make yourself some toast, some avocado, cherry tomatoes. Hell, put some feta cheese on there. You can even go to brunch with the gals and complain about the patriarchy and how much men suck over a chai latte. Western society has produced such unbelievable levels of comfort and luxury that it has actually turned people into pure narcissists with unfathomable levels of ungratefulness for the men that are going out and breaking their backs day in, day out, so that people can maintain their unprecedented level of comfort.
What effort are women putting in today? Women still want men to move in a traditional way, but yet you're not traditional women.
I don't even know
Is there
what
a
to
crickets
say.
button?
I'm confused how I'm asking men to act in a traditional way. When
Yes, you want men to be traditional. I mean, most women. Okay, I run a show that has anywhere from 15 to 20,000 people watching every night. And women around the world consistently say they want a man that's earning in the high 5, low 6 figures. They want to have 2 to 3 kids and be married. Most women want the top 10% of men. You can go watch my channel and see this bared out. Black, white, Asian, Hispanic, Middle Eastern, and other across the board. All these women are given an option. Do you want to have to work to pay significant bills after you're pregnant? The answer comes back overwhelmingly no, meaning they want to be traditional stay-at-home housewives. They weren't raised that way. They weren't cultured that way. They're not even equipped to be that way, but yet and if you ask them, could you date an average guy earning $50,000? Even women coming straight out of college turn their nose up. Men accept this. Excuse me, ma'am. Men accept it. Can I finish my example?
Today you said he's making $80,000 and that wasn't enough.
Okay, so men accept this. Men accept the fact that college men accept the fact that they're in school right now with women their own age, that 80 years ago they could have married and had a family early on. Now they're looking at these same women, and these same women would not even look at these guys unless they're making 6 figures. Men have accepted the unfairness in the marketplace. It's not fair for men. 18 to 30, men used to could get married. Now you can't even really consider getting married till you're 35 plus because you have to have resources. That's the new marketplace. The thing is, but let me finish. Let me say this and I'll turn it over. Okay. Men have accepted that and adjusted. The difference is the women are not bringing in, women in mass are bringing this. Ask them what you want, you get War and Peace. Ask you what you bring to the table, you can't write it on the back of a stamp. You get access to my body, which is not virgin, which is not even low miles, which you've given to somebody before. And in some cases, you've even shared your womb. You're not even really feminine like women used to be. You don't even have the domestic skills, the home skills. So I would submit today that modern women are asking for an unfair deal from modern men.
So we should go back to 1950 and make it more fair?
Well, I tell you what's happening is the men have accepted this and they're deciding I'm either not going to play this game because I cannot earn what these guys around you are earning. And they're just opting to walk away. And the men who are earning that have an overwhelming amount of options. They have a plethora of options. Men in the top 10%, top 5%. I'm 51 years old and I can pick whatever I want because women all want the same kind of man. And if you have options just like you're not going to do what? Settle.
Now, Kevin touches a point here that I don't really hear many people talking about these days. That's the fact that women more and more are going for older men. And hence, many younger men are retreating from the sexual marketplace because they have so few options. And it all makes sense when you realize the way in which social media has globalized the way that people meet each other. That beautiful girl from your class in college that once upon a time you could walk up to and chat to and go on a date with, and her daddy says have her home by 8. These days, she would not even notice that the average Joe exists. And this is because she's getting attention on Instagram from blue check billionaires in Dubai. And obviously I'm speaking in generalities, and there are still many young women out there who are of a high moral caliber and still have their feet on the ground, but they're just fewer and far between. And if you think I'm making all of this up, then I'll refer to this Pew Research study that showed the following. As of 2022, Pew Research Center found that 30% of US adults are neither married, living with a partner, nor engaged in a committed relationship. Nearly half of young adults are single, 34% of women, and a whopping 63% of men. How does that make sense, you might ask? 34% of women are single, but 64% of men under the age of 30. Well, that's because young women are going for older men. Gone are the days where you could just work a normal, simple job, buy a house, and comfortably raise a family. These days, everything is getting more expensive and it's becoming harder and harder to live. So of course, younger women are going to go for older men who have more resources and can provide them with the comfort and stability that they require. Of course, women are going to exercise their hypergamous nature, which means that they date across and up social hierarchies. And if the option were there, you would also exercise your ideal mating strategy. And like I said before, this is not fair. It's not fair that young men below 30 are at such a disadvantage in the sexual marketplace, but you can't sit around and complain about it. You have to accept it and find solutions. In fact, that behavior is analogous to the behavior of the radical feminists.
When all this stuff came in, feminism, second wave, feminism, I'm a feminist. I believe in feminism. Feminism is about choice.
No,
clearly
you
fucking
really
not.
are.
Excuse me, ma'am. Feminism in its true form is about choice.
I don't even want to hear it.
Yeah, we don't have a choice right now with what's
No,
going
you
on.
have a choice. She just exercised one right now. It got too hot. She left.
Feminist, but shit shouldn't be fair.
See, it's about choice. If a woman wanted to be a housewife, she could do it. If she wanted to be a business person, she could do it. See, the choice was about all black people wanted was a choice, freedom to have an equal shot, not equal outcomes. Men accept these things. You don't hear men complaining about fair. If Donovan and I were playing a game of football or video game, if he was kicking my ass, I would be a punk to sit up and say, it's not fair. My controller's not working. The game is rigged. That's not fair. You're better. Do you know? I would have to just take my ass whooping, take my L's and get better. That's what men do. Women wanted to be able to have sex with who they wanted to, marry who they want to, love who they want to, work where they want to, not work where they want to, go every place that men could go. You are the most free, most liberated group of women that ever existed on the human history, and yet you're the most unhappy. 1 in 4 out of you on some sort of psych meds. Women the marital rate is dropping with modern women. What else do you want men to do? We've civilized the world in general. We don't even have wars. You can do whatever you want to. And you're still not happy with the world that men built, telling us that we're not good enough because we don't move like women. We're not going to.
I just feel like you guys don't put in effort. I feel like the most of you
Are you
not.
serious?
I do feel like you're serious.
Men didn't make the marketplace this way, ladies. You fought for it to be this way. This is freedom. Freedom comes with responsibility.
Clearly not for men.
No. See, when men were paying the bills, see, when we had the old system, men were expected to fight the wars, dig the ditches, build the buildings, pay all the bills. And when a divorce or something happened, men had to pay. Now women fought for equality. So you get upset when you deal with 50-50 mindset men.
Nah, I mean, I'd rather be
I'd rather
an
do it.
independent rich woman and be single than to be stuck with a man who doesn't give a
And
shit
I
about
would
me and
rather
cheats
pay
on me.
more than half of the bills.
Absolutely, exactly.
Okay, first off, you said you'd rather be in it, and if that's what you choose to be, great, you can do that. That's choice.
And I get what
And you can do that.
exactly.
But the thing is, but the funny thing is, you would think that and especially in my community, strong, independent, such and so forth.
Yeah.
The amount of women who are high earners, independent, and miserable is amazing. Halle Berry, once the most beautiful woman on the face of the planet, 3 times in a row, is complaining about child support.
Unbelievable, man.
She's rich, she's beautiful, she's miserable. How about this? There used to be a time where men and women actually did not war with one another. We didn't have these contentious things. We accepted that men were men, women were women. We acknowledged each other's differences. We respected those things and let the world work. In the last 70 years, we've decided let's rejigger everything, and it's not working.
You see, these women have been pulled in hook, line, and sinker to the feminist indoctrination propaganda, and they have eaten up the independent boss babe, man-hating, women are oppressed narrative. And the sad part is that the ones who will end up suffering the most from this is them. And maybe one day when they're in their 40s and childless, on antidepressants with 4 cats, they might look back and think, damn, Kevin Samuels was spitting some facts. And who would want to end up that way when you could end up with a family who loves and adores you and a man that goes off to work every single day to provide for you and your family and that would happily jump in front of a train for you without so much as a slight hesitation. But away from the morbid and to the more positive now. If you are a younger woman who rejects the programming of the feminist matrix, then you have an enormous advantage. And I genuinely see a trend happening in that direction. I mean, there's definitely a masculine revolution happening where young men are starting to realize the value in taking responsibility and being stoic and getting strong and making yourself into the best possible person that you can be. And on the female side, this might be wishful thinking on my part, but I think that there is some sort of a feminine traditional renaissance happening. And you've got really popular podcasts like the Just Pearly Things, which is doing really well at the moment. For example, let's have a look at this clip that went viral this week. Now, this woman is obviously stunningly beautiful, but also very elegant and sophisticated and classy. Look how many heads she turns. And like I said, maybe this is just me being hopeful, or maybe it's my algorithms, but I'm starting to think that there's hope. That's it from me today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to hit that link tree in the top of the comments if you want to get at me on social media or join the Rattlesnake community on Locals. And if you want to watch another video, click right here. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, click right here. Till next time, I'm Jake. This has been Rattlesnake TV, keeping you armed and dangerous.